Are you ready for us? Start already. And I tell you, welcome, KMTV, Liberia's premier online television. We are everywhere, that's why we are right here at the border of Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center, but we are situated in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, the home of KMTV-USA, right here at 5901 Brooklyn Boulevard, Brooklyn Center. And we're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with the Diaspora Talk, but we'd like to welcome you to this special interview. Today is Tuesday, happens to be the 4th day of October 2022. My name is Cyrus McGee. Wherever you find yourself, whether you are in Liberia, you are out of Liberia like I am, I'd like to say welcome to this special interview with Montserrado County Senator Abraham Darius Dillon, the man who just got another 9 years on the back of Liberians, to run the Montserrado County. He's here with us in studio. And Senator, welcome. I'd like to say welcome. I know we had to take you away from your basic schedule, but this is where we sit. This is our little corner. We'd like to say welcome.
Thank you, Cyrus, and thank you for the invitation. I'm happy to be, as always, to speak to Liberians home and abroad. I'm impressed by what I see, to see Liberians out of Liberia doing what you do here at KMTV in Minnesota. I want to say thank you to the management of KMTV. And as always, we give God the glory for life.
I know, right?
I have a 1:30 to be in Tonga.
Kind of trick you on.
Yeah.
And I like driven time.
I like to be on time, so.
Yeah, I'm happy
that
you're on time and we can do this. Thank you again for accepting to sit with us to talk, not just to us but to your people at home and abroad.
Right.
And I believe you've been here almost a week now.
Yeah, I've been here almost a week, and I'm leaving Minnesota tomorrow. I'm going to Ohio. I will be in Columbus and Dayton, Ohio for 2 days. I will be in Dayton, Ohio to meet with the organization Library for Africa.
All right.
To conclude arrangements for some mini libraries in Montserrado County. Those negotiations and discussions started off well, and we're going to make some to cement the relationship. I will also meet with Liberians in Columbus tomorrow evening.
All right.
Yeah, so I've been in Minnesota since I came to America, and my stay in Minnesota is not only personally happy, but the mission for which I came is proceeding well. And we'll talk about that as we proceed.
Yeah, as we proceed. But tell us, you in the opening, you already it seems like you already feel at home, away from home.
Yeah, the thing about the weather here is you don't trust it. For me,
how we know.
Starts to shine, There's more when you're cold on it.
I saw you with a little jacket.
I got my jacket. I got my
short sleeves. My short sleeves as well.
I like to be there.
When you see her going for some unexpected break, probably the senator is trying to bubble up.
Yeah. You know the thing I can enjoy by it? Once this man you're wearing cap with plenty hair, I thought I bluffed you.
Don't joking.
We
gotta say to go cut Sabu before you leave.
Yeah, no, I want to cut my hair, but I will do it in I will do it
why you want to do it with this? Montserrado, so now you Montserrado 1 or Montserrado 2? Because I'm afraid.
No, it's actually Montserrado 2, but longevity.
Okay. Senator Sargent says still
my senior,
okay.
And I gave that to him. When we beat him in 2023, then I would become senior to the person who will elect.
You planning to? You think anyway we will get there? But tell us about. Tell us in this opening. Tell us about. You already talked about the reception and few other things you expected to do.
Yeah.
You were officially out in Minnesota over the weekend.
Right.
You want to tell us about that event and what brought you over to the U.S. I know you're on break. You should be in Liberia, but you're here. So tell us what.
And I'm going to return to Liberia soon to be in time. When the legislature returns, because in fact we should already consider returning before our break ends.
Wow.
the rest crisis in the country, when your people are in crisis, it is not time to merry-make, especially if you can make direct impact.
Okay.
But I'm in Minnesota at the behest of the Friends of Dillon and Mothers. Mothers is the institution movement for Abraham Darius Dillon for senator. After the elections, Friends of Dillon and Mothers decided to transition from electing Dillon, that they have already succeeded in doing, to doing humanitarian work, especially focusing on the rehabilitation center that we Liberians sponsored and funded, not from government money, but Liberians home and abroad funded that project. It is for them, it is for all of us to help rehabilitate our citizens who are considered to be wayward or are truly addicted to drugs and substance abuse. So we had an event at Robbinsdale on Saturday evening. We want to say thank you to the organizers and Liberians in Minnesota and those who came from other states, from as far as Connecticut, North Dakota, and other places, Maryland.
Wow.
Yeah, people flew in to Minnesota on Saturday for that event, and we were able to raise some money. The organizers will announce the total sum.
They ain't gave the gist of
I have a gist, but I think I want to be responsible to allow the organizers to compile the report. There were good commitments from Liberians who have committed, apart from the direct cash donation that was made.
Okay.
They have also committed to do monthly support to the project for a year, for 6 months, and in keeping with the individual capacity. I was impressed by that. And so the rehab center, the clinic aspect is open to the public.
Since when?
About 2 months now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think KMTV covered that event. So it's servicing the community, those who from far and near, who have issues, and when they're in the vicinity, they can access it. It's open to the public.
Is that free?
People who come from outside are charged some fees. Our patients.
Exorbitant?
No, affordable. So, but the clinic was built especially for our inpatient.
Okay.
Our citizens,
people who will be residing.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay.
But you can't have clinic in the community, and then you don't have them selling
The
community people. So we did it in a way, and even from the construction of that facility, we have always said that our inpatient will be service free.
Okay.
Those in the community and from far and near who can access the community, the clinic especially, will pay some fees. It has to keep the clinic up.
And people been pulling in.
Yeah, very much, yeah. And it has been a sort of relief for community members, especially to the capacity of the clinic, to the extent of the capacity of the clinic. It has been a relief to people in the community, and we are happy about that.
The capacity you talk about, I mean, structural wise, I know I've seen the picture,
Right.
but when it comes to setup, equipment, and other medical things that you need to keep it,
Yeah.
running and afloat, what can you speak to about that?
So I'm a vision bearer, and I'm humbled by that, but I'm not a medical person. So to speak to the medical terms and the medical.
I mean, you've been to the hospital before.
Yes, there's a lab, respiratory machine.
And before you go further, I
don't want to say something here that is not medically sound, and then I jump into another field. I'm not able to.
Before you go further, before the people who may contain by saying my bad, Senator, I don't we get all so you feel that it's somewhere people will go and feel relaxed to get that basic.
Yeah, basic. Yes, right. So if the clinic cannot address a medical need, then you seek.
You send them to 14?
Yeah, you send them
to JFK or 14?
To JFK or a nearby. Well, our inpatient, our client, I want to put it, our brothers and sisters, our focus people, our base, quote unquote, Zogos, is our key focus. And so, organizations in America, here in Minnesota, and Liberian citizens themselves have packaged a 2 warehouse full of equipment, medical supplies.
Where is that warehouse situated?
It's here in Minnesota. The chairman of Friends of Dillon is in charge, Joshua Port, along with Chocon Page. They are members of the board. What we did, we register the Center for Rehabilitation and Integration as a business entity but in the NGO sector. Okay. So it is a non-for-profit. Okay. We also register it in America as a legal entity. So the board is now working towards sourcing,
maybe we'll take interest in putting our cameras to see what it looked like.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Opening up to the public, that.
So for me, I'm passionate about addressing an issue that has been left abandoned and dark. When we say with the light, we're not talking about anything like
the light still shines?
Oh, it shines even brighter. Only to those who are deliberately blind and did not want light on at all. The people who did not want light on, they say no light was on, then later on they say the light gone dim. If the light was not on, it can be dim. Yeah, some people have already clocked their minds, they don't want light. So I can understand that. That's the politics of it, but addressing the key issue, the issue about drug addiction, addiction, substance abuse, mental health issue has been neglected, abandoned by our country, not just the WIA administration. The WIA administration inherited almost every problem the country has. The only thing is that they have worsened everything because they have taken up nothing to elevate any sector, including this population of our people that have grown to almost 500,000 across the country. Mental health, people who suffer mental health disorder and issues in the country, stress out and trauma, the World Health Organization put it at over 1 million Liberians in Liberia.
And we just around 5 million.
Yeah, about 5 million people.
1 million.
1 million Liberians are suffering from mental health issues. And about 500,000 Liberians suffering from addiction, drug, dangerous substance abuse. Then the country is declining. Everybody in the country is angry.
And you people are the leaders.
So as a policy maker, we are trying to shine a light on our sector to say, hey, while we think it is good to be looking for help on,
like pit latrine.
I'm not a fan of pit latrine. I'm not even a fan of boasting that I did a hand pump. I'm a fan of developing the minds of our people, reforming the minds of our people, fighting for system and governance institutions to work for the people. And when we do that, you won't have an angry country. You will have people living with dignity. You will have people living their independence. Because when the system is working for you and you are not living off people's individual pockets and patronage, the country will start to think wisely, think right, and hold public officials accountable. I always said, if the way our system works, the patronage system, if I am paying your school fees, you don't care how I'm getting the money, and you just tell me thank you for paying your school fees, anything I do, you will defend me. It hurts our people's dignity and their independence. So my focus is building system, governance institution. The only way that can happen unless we reform ourselves, our minds, reform where we work. And if we're walking into a country where a whole country is in decline because more people are being frustrated and getting addicted to drugs and alcohol abuse, substance abuse, for varying reasons, societal reasons, some other frustration. You graduate from school, you went to school, you believe that you get your paper, you get work to do, you get found work to do, you drain your frustration and when you become addict. Some people have marital issues, different reasons.
No.
So it's a problem.
Now with this problem and 1 million people into this situation, 500,000 directly into substance abuse and all of that, and you coming up with this center, how many people are you able to take at a time?
If you do 1 at a time, it is better than growing the number. If day 1, we're reducing the number. So the facility will have to take up to 25-30% maximum.
How long do you intend to keep them there? Because it's like you're going to be
The
cycling.
professional people will tell the cycle as to when
It ends.
when somebody is in and when they can get out, right? When they reach the stage of recovery from, we detox them and all of that stuff, and they reach the stage of recovery, our professional staff can speak to them. As a vision bearer, I am passionate about redeeming a Liberian citizen from being wayward, from being an addict, to becoming productive. Because the more productive citizens we have people like you having the kind of vision, not only in America, but taking it back home. And the more of you taking it back home, and with more people back home having a reformed development, our country will develop.
What are plans? Not just, taking them in, providing them medical services, maybe counseling. What are other things that you're going to have as part of this entire program? People, they say let's say in everyone day you feel bored. Even though.
Yeah, so recreation, but the key thing is something places them in that situation.
Yeah.
So it's just like Lazarus sinned. The Bible says he that sinned will die. So the fact that Lazarus died, that means he sinned before. But Jesus raised him from the dead. But Lazarus died later on. Right? That maybe Lazarus sinned again. So what I'm trying to pin here is the thing that put people into depression and made them addicts. If we recover them and we don't address the cause
Of what
who led them into it, there's likelihood for them to relapse into it again. Job opportunity and all that stuff. The economy is poor. The private sector is not expanding. We have a kind of system in our country, not just with the George Weah administration, but the West Orange administration. If you are not praising the government, even if there's private sector job, there's a livelihood, you won't get it. But if we develop a country where the merit system with a reform mind, reform people, and we have merit system where you are entitled to opportunity only because you are a citizen, not on the basis of your party alignment and who you present, trust me, then we can reduce the number of people addicted to this dangerous substance. We can help to reduce and lower the mental health issue in our country. And what is interesting is that when the budget was brought before us, this 2022 budget, I started off since I became senator and being an advocate for mental health and rehabilitation issue for it to become a national discussion. We got to discuss it and know the importance and gravity of it in order for us to find a solution. If we are not talking about it, nobody is an advocate in that direction. It's difficult for the light to shine on it.
So that's helping to dim the light a little bit.
No. No. So the light is even shining more because when the 2022 budget was brought before us, the first place I opened in the budget was under the Ministry of Health to see what we are projecting for mental health. Yeah. I saw for mental health a budget projected of almost 800 million. Mental health was allotted 30,000.
For 15 counties.
For the country.
Because this thing is not just Monrovia or Montserrado.
Correct.
These things, they are buffalo in all of the counties.
Correct. So, for the government to allot 30,000 to mental health out of a budget projection of over 800 million, it says to you that even the budget and the government itself suffering from mental health. Because if we don't understand the magnitude, the gravity of the danger this thing poses to the future of our country, in order for us to address it through budgetary means. With 30,000, the government itself is suffering from mental health. So we raise this issue, we continue to raise it, to address it.
Did your voice change anything?
Well, thankfully, the government is now putting into place some attention and policy. The president,
the
executive, thankfully, had a program putting spotlight on this thing to raise fundraiser to raise 14 million to address addiction issue through rehabilitation. This sector has been abandoned for over 2 decades. And the fact that we are an advocate, a small advocate, I don't want to take the glory. God knows what we have brought to the table.
Do you have other senators or other lawmakers, maybe from the House or the lower house, or from your colleagues that are in line with you supporting?
Yeah, there are a few of us, and people think I'm going to call Yombi Kanga Lori's name, Jonathan Silva.
But like political leader and social.
Yeah, but we are in line. Yombi Kanga Lawrence, Jonathan Silva, he's not in my party, he's from ANC. So it's not political.
Well, you had a CPP before now, so
so it shouldn't be political. We want the discussion to be, especially this segment to be political. Jonathan Silva, I can also say that our chair, the pro tem, is getting along. Steve Zago, Jonathan Carpier, and a few of us, we are picking this thing up.
What's the Montserrado one? What does he say?
Senator Sir Joseph has been more concerned about bringing buses, building vocational schools that you can pay school fees and registration fee and all that stuff. I'm not trying to throw shade.
Have you talked into that?
No, but I know that no CDC lawmaker has talked about rehabilitation even before I became senator. It has been proven by their budget. They have been submitting. Mental health and rehabilitation has never been an issue for concern. They only wait for election time. They can find $2,000-3,000 like and give it to people suffering from addiction. Instead of addressing the issue to reform them, you give them money in that state, and in my view, you are enhancing their addiction because they're only looking for any couple in their hand to go find drug. When you give them the money,
they're running after their
So what we want to do, we want to take them from the street, house them in a place that is conducive, feed them 3 times a day free, clothe them, see about the medical needs that we can address, and then do the rehabilitation, and then partner with the Ministry of Youth and Sports and other institutions providing technical and vocational skills for those who don't have already, and then return them after a certain period into society as productive citizens. Take them from the street as wayward, neglected, abandoned, and then after going through all these processes, return them to the society as productive citizens.
Now,
I prefer that to help them any day.
Let's look at the involvement of Ministry of Gender, because you will be dealing with these disadvantaged youth, young people. Some of them, a lot of them, women amongst them. Some of them got kids within this situation. Are you thinking in that direction? Have you tried to reach out to the Ministry of Gender when it comes to child protection and all of that, not leaving those kids in the same situation you're trying to take their parents from?
Sure. As a public policy maker, I have a duty to take the politics aside and work with government institutions that are related to this. And I have said repeatedly, from the time we put that facility together and dedicated it last year, September, I have said if the government wants to take over this facility and run it, I don't need it. Friends of Dillon and mothers may not have problem. The thing is, our goal will have been met in addressing the issue about rehabilitation of our people. So we are open to.
Are there any concerns from the executive, especially with these?
No, the executive sees everything politics.
Have you reached out to them? Maybe Senator Dillon was dedicating, and I'm going to invite the General Minister.
The Minister of Justice was present. KMTV was there. The Minister of Justice was present. The Minister of Youth and Sports was present. The current Vice President of Liberia was present. About 9 senators were present. The Mental Health Department of the Youth and Ministry of Health was present. The World Health Organization and some international NGOs operating in Liberia were present during the dedication.
So it means that the page was set for everybody.
Yeah, and we made that commitment to the Ministry of Youth and Sports, to the Health Ministry, and before the Vice President of Liberia, the former Vice President of Liberia, Joseph Numa Pwaka, was also there. Of course, Senator Lawrence, as my political leader, and as Senator herself was also there, when we made that commitment that we are ready to turn the facility over for government to take care.
What response did you get?
We haven't gotten any response, so we continue our activity with the Friends of Dillon. We have done everything to detach that facility from the politics of my office.
How possible can that be when
It is possible. That is why we have board. That is why we have Friends of Dillon and Mothers. That is why we have executive director, and we're recruiting the competent, relevant staff, knowledgeable in mental health and rehabilitation to run that place. Anything that happens at that place will be through the executive director and the board. Because somebody who wants to help a Liberian citizen to get rehabilitated may not let my politics where I'm leaning will get there and not help a Liberian. So don't mind my politics. Look at that place because as it is now, the entire country is affected by this quote-unquote Zogo situation. Every Liberian home and or abroad has a family or connection in the Zogo community. Either your brother or sister is there, your cousin, your relative, your former schoolmate, classmate, workmate, community member. Every Liberian, the number is growing. Every county, all counties in this country, in Liberia, all major cities in Liberia have a Zogo community. Every Liberian citizen, home and abroad, has some connection with somebody in the quote-unquote Zogo community. And if you think it is a Darius Dillon thing, you're making a mistake.
Now, Senator, this it shows that it's a huge, community that you would have to take care of, and it makes your hands full. You with Montserrado alone.
Yeah.
As they if I say headquarter base it is because we have the largest amount of these people in Montserrado.
Right.
One would wonder whether Senator Dillon could put forth a law, write a bill that will be something that maybe if it's passed by the legislature is a general, control, then you alone just cannot manage even a district in Montserrado.
So our problem is not.
Are you thinking in that way?
So why I am thinking in that way, but our problem is not the absence of laws. Our problem is the will to implement what is already on the books.
Okay.
One of the things the Senate will immediately do upon our return by the middle of this month will be to clean up the drug law that was passed by the House and sent to us. Some people, most times we drive on sentiment. Yeah, when something happens, we want something done quickly. We got to be careful. So the House passed a drug law that says anything related to street drugs, illegal drugs, is not billable. Our argument from the Senate is, in as much as we want to address this drug issue and want to make the punishment harsh enough to discourage the use and especially the importation, we got to be careful while we're making this law harsh not to punish people and violate people's rights. For instance, the House passed a drug law that says if you import the drug and you are caught, it is not bailable. I agree with that. If you smuggle it, if anybody was caught facilitating the importation, smuggling of drugs into the country, we will grab you. It is not bailable. We'll take you to court. We'll put you in jail. You can't file bail bond. You stay there until the court decides. But the House also says if you were caught with one joint of marijuana or opinion between your finger, we will grab you and put you to jail and not bailable too. So we said no. We believe that while we're making the law harsh for people who are importing and smuggling,
it should also be harsh for the users.
It can be harsh for the user to that extent because, in my view, and it is becoming a view of majority of Makoris, that the one who has one joint between his fingers is in violation of the law when he's a victim. The law should also address rehabilitation.
Yeah.
Once we stop the importation, we manage to slow or stop the importation, the trafficking, the smuggling. The one who has that one joint between your finger will not have access to it. So while you're rehabilitating the victim, the end user, you want to punish the importers and the trafficker. So immediately upon our return from this break by mid-October this month, we'll conclude on the drug law and pass it so that we can strengthen the executive, the DEA and the Justice Ministry and the state security people to have a law on the hand and the prosecutorial arm to have a law on the hand to deal harshly with people who imported the drugs while we're seeking means to address the rehabilitation of the victims.
So my concern was maybe passing a law that will create a rehabilitation centers around the country that you can directly look at as lawmakers during budgetary year to say it is going for rehabilitation directly and not within the budget of the health ministry generally where you have that minute portion.
My team, the mothers and the friends of Dillon, we are putting together a law and the way to fund it in keeping with your question to help the government find sources of funding for rehabilitation. Like we have on our hands currently the seizure of street market value of over $100 million worth of cocaine. When you grab that, when you arrest people like that, the punishment, the monetary fine, the money you will generate from the bill bond or the fine, it should go directly toward funding rehabilitation center for victims, the end users. So it's just like the road fund. Every 25 cents go toward maintaining or constructing roads, dedicated. So if we do that law, we can find means in that law to find the source of funding to build rehabilitation center, public rehabilitation center, and to address how to sustain those rehabilitation centers. So we are working toward that.
All right. So that was my concern, because
we are working toward
you just making the drug law stronger, but you don't have rehabilitation centers across the 15 countries.
Right.
That would
so
address.
The government also, I'm chairman on the Senate Youth and Sports Committee, so I have oversight over that sector. And we are working, my committee is working cooperatively with the Youth and Sports Ministry. We passed the current budget with $1 million in this current budget to start to prepare the youth center, the National Youth Center in Bentall.
Okay.
To be buttressed by the $13 million fund drive that was launched by the President of Liberia. I hope we can.
You'll put small thing in there too?
Of course.
All right.
Yeah, anytime the government want money through policy to be addressed through the budget, I vote for that budget line, especially in this area.
I hope you're not telling the thing you'll be giving Montserrado and say, I put this so.
No, but the $3,000 is since last October, since September. In the presence of KMTV and everybody, we said the $3,000.
I mean, that referencing also.
Yeah, because I let my winners to be living. So we said that $3,000, instead of giving it to a council like we were doing before September last year, that $3,000 goes toward helping to maintain and sustain the rehabilitation center that we have already until we can get on our feet. And, you know, the center can be able to sustain itself through donor funding, and we can find loan and grants, because we are now legally registered both in Liberia and in the U.S.
All right.
Yeah.
So you can get grants, you can.
Correct.
You know, people can donate.
Correct. So and I also met, maybe my team will talk about it. We met with the leadership of the Parara Care.
Yeah, Parara Care.
Right. Here in Minnesota, we had a very good meeting yesterday. You know, Parara Care Health Center has to do with mental health. Yeah, their focus is on mental health, and we're looking for partnership. We're looking for assistance, technical assistance. We're trying to form partnership with these kind of groupings where even if you don't have to go to Liberia, we can do technology intervention where a doctor can be here and be on the line, and you know, we are partnering and telling, you know, doing the rehabilitation through technology, and we are succeeding in closing some of these discussions. I would leave it as now until we can finally consummate it. But I'm very, very elated about the meeting we had yesterday with the primary care.
Yeah, I understand you have another one today.
I have another one to deal with the West Education Institute is in Minnetonka. From here, that's where I'm going to meet with the head of that institution.
And that meeting gonna be robbing us of some of the time, man.
Yeah.
But again, if I mean, what's your expectation going forward as you are putting your time into this, lifting one Liberian up at a time? What's your own expectation, and what do you get from doing these?
So I don't profess to be the best Christian, but there's some gospel music or song. It says, if I can help somebody as I pass this way, then my living will not be in vain. And those kind of things can inform my passion to want to help. But you see, we can't help individually, especially as policy makers. Our role is to make the policies and let the policies be implemented to benefit everybody, rather than it being an individual initiative. We have to start off with the individual initiative to shine a light on this dark spot. And thankfully, the light is shining. The government is picking it up. I just want us to be more robust and take it with the urgency that it deserves. Because this drug issue, dangerous substance issue, is killing our country. I've already said it is a national emergency. It is not wiping away the next generation. It is wiping away an entire country.
I know you touched briefly on the over 100 million value worth of drugs.
Right.
What is it like if your international partners perhaps they give you the right tip off and it's successful? How did you feel hearing that?
Yeah, it's a good thing. Liberia is not an isolated place. We are part of the global village. What affects one country affects another. It will sit and allow Liberia to be the hub for dangerous drugs. It will sit and allow majority of our citizens to be addicted to dangerous substance. It will spill over in the neighboring countries.
It's gonna find a Zobo crossing.
And then you find out that Liberia becomes, who told you they don't have quote unquote wayward or Zobos in the other countries?
Even in this country, they
Even
have
in this
strict
country,
guidelines.
yeah, they have. But and the American government has spent billions of dollars addressing mental health issues, and they still cannot find their hands on it. When you think about a country like Liberia that is very poor, poorly managed, and our people have to practically prostrate to politicians before they can find food to eat.
No, I mean, you brought us to the food to eat business. Soon you'll close your leader country on your break. The biggest emergency now is rice.
It is a sad thing. You know, there are three branches of government. I cannot direct traffic as a senator. Some will say that I your function. But when there's traffic, they say, Senator, what are you doing about it? Our role is to help to craft a budget and appropriate in the budget so that it can benefit our people. The executive, whose function and authority is to ensure these things happen through the Ministry of Agriculture, through the Commerce Ministry. It is the executive that came to us and said, we will soon experience a risk crisis if you do not intervene by authorizing.
You already had the red flag.
Yes, so in order to avoid it from happening, the executive came to us and said, lawmakers, we can't spend money that is not appropriated, authorized by the legislature. We need X amount of dollars to avoid a looming risk crisis. Okay, what do you need? The executive said they want 11 million. The president sent us a budget and was defended by Samuel Twa. They said they wanted 11 million. We didn't reduce it by $1. We gave them the 11 million in the recast budget about 2 months ago to avoid this thing. Only for us to find out, and they can't tell me they haven't raised the money. I know they have raised the money.
How sure are you?
I know.
2 months?
Yeah, 2 months to raise 11 million. They have raised the money.
But they had source in the budget. How they were going to get that money in the 11 million budget? They had the source.
Yes, they have raised the money. And if importation, if finding means to get rest to our people, affordable, available, is not a priority for a government, then there's problem.
But there are reports that.
And so we made the 11 million available. What is happening now is the refusal, the neglect on part of the executive to make that 11 million available to importers across the board. They are dealing with select importers and they have not delivered. Now it looks like we haven't done anything. And we as lawmakers, our people, some of whom don't understand our function, you can't ask why the rest crisis, they say, but your lawmaker go make rest happen. Now,
And they're thinking that it's not making sense.
exactly.
Because
the men who ain't get time for intellectualism at that point in time. The stomach ain't get time for intellectualism. And sometimes ain't get time for blame shifting. They just see all public officials. If you get a people trying, they will get vexed with the chief justice and say, why no rest in town? You understand? Because all they want rest. And once you're public official, you are to blame. And I can understand that. We as the lawmakers must muster the courage. I've always asked my colleagues in majority. We are always in majority to pass budget, for God in heaven's sake. What can happen to that majority to demand budget performance report? What?
Are you openly saying that you've not received a single budget performance report?
Hey man, KMTV, you follow the Senate all the time.
No, one year from the Senator itself.
No! I've been behind domestic debt.
Then how are you appropriating if you don't receive performance report?
That is why I have refused to sign on the recast budget. Because there was no budget performance report. I don't understand who will pay in domestic debt to. I did not see the list of importers that were supposed to subsidize when it comes to the rice issue. To give 11 million, because Samuel Toa and President we are asked for it, is like giving blank check. I want you to give me a breakdown of who the importers you're giving the money to. So if the importers don't bring the rest, then I can know directly how to ask for accountability over the money. So we were few senators who refused to vote on the recast budget, but the majority voted, so it becomes an institutional decision. So the executive has the 11 million. What have they done with it? That's the question we're asking.
Is it an embarrassment for you?
It is not an embarrassment for me. It is unfortunate for our people to be struggling the way they are struggling. And then we can't be policy makers and think it is okay. And when you talk about it, the president says you hit him. And in the midst of rest crisis, the president finding a way to define where Miami is and where Miami not. And then when you say it is nonsense, then the people say, you shouldn't say the word nonsense. The president is grossly inept. He has demonstrated gross incompetence. The president lacked focus. He does not understand being president. I think he only is having the title. He also is the function to McGill. McGill is not there now, and we are in where we are.
The government, through the House of Representatives, held a meeting with stakeholders, KMK, Fulani, and they showed them that rest is in the country. But we still see people in long queues, sleeping outside. Does that worry you, Senator?
Look, availability, accessibility, and affordability. Once those three things are not available, you can't tell a man rest. How can you tell your child you get money in the bank but the child ain't in school because of school fees? How can you boast to your children that you get money in the bank but they're hungry at home and they're close to or
And you think those importers are not saying the right thing?
I think the executive branch is falling short on accountability with that 11 million. Something is wrong somewhere. First thing, you can't be too political to hide the country. If something is $1 and you're importing it, and you don't have control over that importation, where it comes from, when they place the thing coming from, when the price increase, be courageously truthful to the people and say, they play the rest coming from the people increase the price. So when they land here in Liberia, we'll put 50 cents on it. Inform the people. Even if they're angry hearing the information, they will brace themselves for when 50 cents will be added on the rest. But if you want to suppress the price, you're hurting the importers, the men are making profit, he will not import again. And if you promise him to keep the price just so it can have political backlash on you, but you don't give him that which that's supposed to have him keep the price stable, then you have the crisis that we have on our hand.
So do you think this will warrant or make senators to feel that let's return early to address this emergency?
We should. If I can get back on the plane tomorrow, I will do so.
Is anything holding you?
Because the legislature is not inclined as an institution to return it before the 15th.
Wow.
I have been making this call. I have been trying to make this call.
We might go back to 1979.
Well, I hope we don't go back there, but if the situation calls for it, and sometimes when you talk about the poor thing, you are encouraging. Liberia is a very sweet country. For the people to be hungry, angry, in their own anger, and President West still going to playground wearing purple suit and Scooby, and nothing happening to him. Liberia is a blessed country.
You think you could lead something?
In other countries, the government gone.
Go what? Through violent or
Go in Burkina Faso, you'll find out what happened in there.
But we pray that
Exactly. Now, when you a policy maker say they think you are encouraging violence, but how can you be happy in a country where you are a policy maker? Your life look all right or is okay, but the people who employ you with the vote, like some of us, their lives are not changing. Their lives are okay. How do you feel?
Senator Snow said we should go back and invest into agriculture.
Yes.
Do you have a garden or farm?
So, no, I don't have garden, I don't have farm. All of us may not have the capacity to have farm, but if we can make it a national policy to invest in domestic production, the vision for agriculture should come, is the presidency, it's the executive. The government
You are leaders. Why everything?
the government is tailored in such a way. Let me tell you something. If my signature or my voice could change anything, the first thing we would change in the country would be for lawmakers like myself to make 5,000 or less. 2, if my voice, hopefully, and my signature was as powerful as the president's signature and his pulpit to change anything, we probably would not be doing subsidy for rice.
And you think you don't have the strength to pull the strings among your
No,
fellow
we have people hearing us, but not many listening. We have people hearing us, but not many listening. That is why the number of people who we can vote together have not increased, because plenty of people hearing us, but not listening. And I think it is a Dillon glorification thing we're looking for. And their rest business is like school fees. Every time there's rest shortage, that's when we realize we're supposed to invest in local production to feed ourselves. Once the ship come and rest come to, flow normally, we'll forget about local production. The same way every year when school fees go up high, that's where people talk about school fee and promoting government public schools to put quality in it and make it free for our people. But if we, since I became senator, on the education sector, I said let's invest in our private and public schools. Let's invest in it, put poor quality in it, and make it free from kindergarten to 12th grade. Then every year we not come to school fee noise. But in order for us to do it, it looks like it is a Dillon advocacy and a Dillon thing. Dillon name will get promoted. I didn't go to promote my name, I went to serve. And if my service would change one thing for the country, then I'm happy.
Senator, I know you told us you could just offer an hour but we cannot leave without talking about your party, the Liberty Party.
Liberty Party.
Where is Liberty Party right now? With just
Liberty
a little
Party,
over a year to election.
Liberty Party is in a crisis that everybody understands. But trust me, the fact that we understand the crisis that we're in.
Then why you can solve it? If you understand the crisis, what's keeping the
If Satan
crisis?
could confess, there will be no hell. God is willing to forgive Satan today, but Satan be there, he won't confess and change. Most ability is like that. Do we take some blame? Yes, we were one.
You led a campaign to lead to
Yes.
to votability.
Musa was member of our party. In our party, we don't suppress people, we don't discriminate. And if we thought it was unfair to one of our parties who wanted to go in the party, especially with his level of contribution, we did not know that he has his own plans. He caught up with us, and we are at the place where we got Musa exactly where we want him to be. The group that will suffer the comments and
You want him to be chairman? He's chairman.
No, I mean, in the crisis,
Okay.
we got Musa exactly where he wants.
And where is that?
Exactly where we want him to be.
Where is that?
Where the frame behind comments, and if comments don't see it, he will feel it last.
So we might see a divided Liberty Party.
Liberty Party in essence is not divided. You call Musa here today, he will come with few persons who...
That you still recognize as...
1 minute, sir. If you call Musa here today in the name of Liberty Party, he will come with 1 or 2 persons. If you call Nyomdi Kanga Lawrence, the political leader and the base of Liberty Party, you will see a whole country coming. A political party, while it is true, it is a legal entity, but a party without the human being, the base, the political capital. Forget it. Cummins, Mr. Cummins, for instance, can be running with Musa and a friend. and the base of the party will know what we are. And trust me, we are making the decision. We will make the decision to impact the country in 2020.
You might be sending your partisans into two different
No, our
directions.
partisans know where they are. Every indication shows that, home and abroad. In fact, in Minnesota next week, the political leader will be here with Liberty Party, Minnesota base.
A fraction.
With Liberty Party, that you're in the media can talk about fraction.
No, but you're putting in the
That
media like
you're in the media can talk about fraction.
Yup.
And you see the Election Commission chairperson was on public radio, ELBC, the government radio. They asked her who the chairman of Liberty Party from the Election Commission perspective. You are answering? Even Election Commission said confusing yourself.
That place here will answer.
No, it tells you that the cohort between Musa Belete, the government, and Election Commission has splashed in their faces. It's heavy on their hands. They can't even answer the question.
Musa Belete, Mr. Belete is your close friend. You were, hanging out like that. There is no way that maybe Senator Dillon can convince Belete in mitigating this.
Lucifer and God were moving together until Lucifer turned to Satan, but I gotta go to
They got.
Let me just.
So Senator, I don't know whether Nathan will want to wrap it up.
Yeah, I can tell.
And I know it's pressing with time. We
Yeah.
just keep talking
Yeah.
Liberia. But going into 2023, what's the major challenge going into the 2020 elections? You heard about e-registration, or how you call it, the process.
The biometric
security,
Yeah.
and the security of the state,
Yeah.
leading into elections. I know there was security when you got elected in 2020.
Right.
Nobody robbed Senator Dillon of his vote from Montserrado.
Maybe he's treating his private security.
And what do you make of all of this?
Okay.
You treating your man, I can say he got your group already. You endorse that group?
So,
No, you endorse. Firstly, you endorse the group.
so you're like the controversial question first. The real thing is about biometric.
You bring your own security.
So, from my understanding as a lawmaker, we are not going to vote electronically.
Okay.
We are only doing biometric registration. So as to avoid double registration. Because no two persons have the same fingerprint, thumbprint, right? So once they register you biometrically, you can register another place.
And is that welcoming?
Yes, in my view, that's welcoming. If you succeeded doing a cleaning to verify the voter roll after the voter registration, they will find you and they will take you out of the system. So there will be only one Cyrus McGee with one thumbprint registering the vote in the system, and not the same Cyrus registering plenty places with the possibility of doing double voting. We will vote manually. You will go to the voting room.
With your
They
card.
will take your card. They will put you through the biometric system, identify you through the system with your thumbprint. Then they will give you the ballot paper. You go put it in the box. So it's not electronic voting.
But electronic registration
Yeah,
process
right,
that will
right,
mitigate this entire problem of triple
Yeah.
registration and all
When
that.
it comes to security, President Weah actually has told the country that he's not running in 2023.
How?
He's not speaking it. He's demonstrating it by his action. President Weah is saying to you he's on a hostage by Samuel Tuwe and Magedem.
Nigeria is no more in the picture.
President Magedem in the picture, I don't mind that thing. We'll take him from there anyways. We'll use the blessing of the sanction, we'll take him from there completely. But what I'm saying to you, President Weah is like a family whose house was invaded by kidnappers. They managed to tie the wife and the children up and then take the husband out of the house. One of the kidnappers or armed robbers take the husband out of the house and say, you carry me to the bank to withdraw from your account and give me money. When you give me the money, I will call my friends to release your wife and your children at the house. If we go to the bank, you try anything stupid, my friend to the house with a gun will kill your wife and your children.
How you understand the whole
So when you honor that situation, you go to the bank. Your eye contact with the teller can be appealing, hoping that the teller will be smart to know that withdrawal you can't be doing that normal. So the teller can be able to detect it and grab that hostage taker that is with you in the bank with our gun, and then manage to call the police to go rescue your family home with the hostage taker at home. So what am I saying here? President Weah is like that. He's not speaking. He's appealing to us to look at his actions, to not put him back in the marshal. President Weah is saying, and you see West business, I don't care. You're putting by at your business. In my first time, your children being raped, people dying mysteriously. I hardly say anything. And you put me back here. In my first time, I am reckless and careless like this. And you put me back here that Samuel Two and forcing me on a ballot. You please rescue me, but not voting me. President Weah is in the bank with his children on a hostage at home gunpoint and looking at the teller with an appealing at that teller is the Liberian people, the voters. To say, this man, when something serious happens in the country, he can go to children park to be playing, even when it's raining. This is not a presidential material. That mistake we made, let's correct it. This man is telling us by his action that auditors can die mysteriously, he ain't care. The $25 million plus $25 million, money can be unaccounted for. Once Samuel Two and then gain economic jargon, he's okay, he ain't care.
Since the deal on the time is almost.
Yeah. So the president is saying, I can appoint an airplane mechanic to go take care of your airport that needs serious managerial intervention. That means you're putting by that the kind of nomination will be doing. Thankfully, the Senate.
So with all these, with all these, you lie.
So, President, we are able to say I'm running. President Weah is telling us to have eyes to see the voting public, not to put him back. President Weah is like the guy who dating a girl, boyfriend and girlfriend, and he irresponsible. He's not taking care of her. He's a drunk, and he's doing all the reckless things. And then the girl asking him or her parent asking him to marry the girl.
Senator,
they left to that girl
Senator,
to see the boyfriend and girlfriend behavior and decide to go into marriage.
With all these scenarios you're naming, can the Liberty Party that is divided at this point, or the opposition that could
Liberty Party is not divided.
You just said the guy.
Liberty Party is not divided. Even when Liberty Party was whole, on Bronskin, every time for endorsement. In fact, Bronskin, when he ever
you can
1 minute, sir, you ask question. Even when Bronskin was living, once we were not fielding a candidate ourselves, Bronskin couldn't even control Liberty Party. He used to tell everybody go vote on their own. Liberty Party is not divided. Musa and his group, few hundred people, got Cummins balls in their hand. He can rub it anytime. Have you seen the Musa Cummins document, framework document? Musa owns CPP. Their new CPP. Musa only the only thing ANC people let here in the new document, which plenty of them have not read, and Musa getting ready for them, is that Cummins is named standard bearer, but all the power and functional power is vested in Musa. And I know that boy.
And is that why you stuck with the Baka side?
No, I'm not stuck with the Baka side. I'm stuck with the Liberia side. And I believe, in my view, as of now, Baka is a stabilizer to stop the bleeding of the country.
There are people who say Baka is old. He's been in government 40 years.
Joe, we are young. Yeah, Joe, we are young. You know, in 2017, even the Liberian people took their own bread and butter issue for beauty pageant. Suppose say Bronskin found his platform okay, but why he told Samagwan, they used to call Harrison Conway, they say enough fun. Joy, we are handsome. Joy is most beautiful. She can even win Miss World. The economy is intact. That not the facial beauty of your face. It's what in your head. It's not sometimes. It's not your age. It's your experience and your integrity and your capacity to deliver and perform.
Age too has influence on your capacity to.
That's true, but George Weah got age. George Weah age allowed him to wake up 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning to go practice football holiday. But from Monday to Friday, that same young man can get up 10:30 in the morning to go to work. The country should be waking. The country should be up by 6:37. If a president young like Weah could get up and be in office at 7 o'clock, the country would be up before 6 o'clock because the president would have driven the country into waking up, into energy. So your age, and George Weah young, Joy young, that my age group.
Yeah, there are quite a people.
That my George Weah, my friend, my credible. In fact, I'm going to tell what you want. In the Weah Miami, and you on that.
Senator Dillon, folks, the Montserrado County.
Yeah, I have to go.
He said we shouldn't call him number one because he still respects the seniority of Senator Sir Joseph. And leading into 2023, let's see
Yeah,
what
when we
happens.
remove him, then I will become number one. And then the senator who will elect
You
to
guys.
replace him will become number
And
two.
Cyrus,
Mhm.
this release just came from the Commerce Ministry. It's the first time for them to speak on this rice
We saw that
crisis.
release is not, it's
So-
empty. And I have to go to Minnetonka.
And you listen to Cummings just announce his campaign team.
Yeah. Coming last month. They put looking for food in the Louis Brown there. Oh yeah. Nobody yeah Louis Brown and took out Magita Jenny on
So what's the final message to the people
My
of
final
Minnesota, Liberia in general? Because I mean, we always say Minnesota is over 40,000 Liberians strong. And I know you enjoyed the terrain over the weekend. I can see you from your, appearance and all that. You won't leave.
In Minnesota is good to us.
Mhm.
We want to thank Liberians in the diaspora in America, in Minnesota. There is a Liberian citizen who is vying for mayor for Brooklyn, Winfred Russell.
Yeah, there are two anyway. One,
Yeah.
the current mayor of Brooklyn Center
Right.
is vying,
Yeah.
and
So-
the city council member Winfred Russell is also.
Right, yeah. So we are rooting for Winfred. We wish him success. Those Liberians in Minnesota, here in Brooklyn, who believe in our voice and admire our sense of judgment, we are asking you to please look favorably toward Winfred Russell and to make him mayor, so that
Yeah, I understand you're going to be out there with him.
yeah, I should be doing some
Don't
door knocking this evening with Winfred, with our fans and supporters, to encourage them to vote for Winfred. Thank you, Minnesota. Ohio, here we come, and I'm on my way to Minnetonka for a meeting. I'm already late for.
Senator Abraham Darius Dillon of Montserrado County been here with my colleague Nixon Charles and I on this special interview. He couldn't make it yesterday on the Aspirato, and he promised him, man, I beg you, let me come tomorrow and honor. And because our platform, we invite everybody that comes to the city here. So it's like, it's not just one group of people. We always make that clear. Everyone comes here. We invite you. It's left with you to make yourself available to speak to your people. And that's why KMTV is open to everybody. We are everywhere. That's why we are here.
I'm
We
not
say-
making this
thanks
so
to-
they call making
Oh, no, but everybody knows that, Senator.
I know that.
So thanks to you for, affording your time, taking off your business schedule to sit with us and talk about Liberia and what you do. We wish you well on the rest of your trip. Until then, find a friend like us. We'll catch you another time on this wonderful, wonderful network. Wherever you find yourself, enjoy the rest of the week. It is beaming hot in Minnesota today, even though the senator is very lost. They don't
Yeah, my
mind.
man, leave me with it.
We'll catch you later on. Bye-bye.
Okay, man. You mean I'll keep Jane worried? Let me worry. Oh, bro.